Videos uploading, and so we'll come to this one now. This is another day, okay? This morning, I woke up early and my day isn't going that great. This is awesome. It belongs to the Jesus Save place now. I made them a ghost. I really didn't do it to be evil. And I read my Bible and I struggle with it, and I ain't a saint, and I try hard, yet I still sin. And I'm Sean. And yeah, he told me I was his son forever. And I shrug my shoulders, and my self-esteem, it drops, and I feel unworthy, and it keeps happening though. And I can be so vain and so selfish, and it just wonders me why. And really, I didn't ask for this, and it only just really happened like this. And I don't run around yelling this stuff to anyone. And most people probably can't see it, and I know that because this song I wrote that actually is really beautiful only had 5 views, and after 5 or 6 years of being on the internet, people don't seem to look much deeper than themselves these days, and I'm guilty too. And it's just my observations. Yeah, I believe in God, and I felt like people tainted His word. And I wrote that star, the one with the words, and He's pretty much told me, no, put Jesus there, no Jesus, because I was hesitant, because I was just going with God, okay? Because I didn't want to be denying God. At the same time, they were, it seemed, blacking His name and twisting His word. That's why I decided let's just be safe and go the God, and that's who talks to me. And He says, no, you put Jesus there, no Jesus, because that's what He said. So that's why I wrote it. And I was hesitant, and He knew my thinking, and He said, no, it's no Jesus, together. That's how I know. I know together isn't written next to it, but it is together. Okay, and that's this star. So it goes no Jesus, and then it goes move forward and never give up, and then it goes follow and found and faith in God, and believe and know together, and leap and listen and look up and hunt and love and family and know Jesus and move forward, so it continues to keep going around. And I wrote that with him. But I think this is beautiful because this is the line that I laid out, and I really walked the lines, and it's still there. Okay? And it's clear that that's that. You can't deny it. And like I said, there'll be some that there's no way you're going to be able to deny them. Just like you shouldn't deny that I wrote that star with him. Same thing. This is up there above. I kept taking pictures as we put it together. I winked. I winked at you on that one. I already told you the little story on this. I already showed you from the other side. Dropped it at 107 thinking she could connect her own dot, but she couldn't. I want you to see that that rock actually was part of the ghost, because they stole my shadow rock that I was using over there. And they stole it from 12th Street. Well, I pulled this rock because I told her, I says, I made you a ghost with it. I made you a ghost with it. And so there I pull that rock and love it and love it and love it all the way, because it came over the top of this side too. So, too bad you couldn't see it right there. Then it's right there, and it's right there, and it's right there. And some of these you're just never going to be able to deny, like my background there. That it came over the top over here too, where the line is that we laid down. And you're just never going to deny that, because it happened. It's right there. That took me all day long. It took me months, years to get to there. So I drop it at 107 for her so she can connect her last dot. And she can't connect her last dot. I have to do it for her. So I bring it back, and I just know she's never going to connect it. So I give her all the clues. The one that wanted to glue herself into my head and say, it's our world. No, it's not your world. It's his world. If it was our world, you would have known to connect your dot. I say the Magic Moon Show because one of the voices that was recorded into my songs that they were using BNO Play doing it when it said, this is the Magic Moon Show, don't be confused on what contains a hidden truth. Then I said Katrina wants this daddy in it, okay? Now, it was so low and hard to hear, there was no way possible anyone could hear it. I had to clean that up, registerable to the human ear to hear that one. So that's what emotional distress is about when you hear him it saying, Katrina wants this daddy, Katrina wants this daddy, over and over. That voice was cleaned up to be recognizable to the human ear. In the very end of this, when I wrote this song, it has this ding, 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 ding. Well, they were playing with my music box, and they were confusing me, and they were giving me space filler viruses, etc., etc. They were using Linux and all that stuff to do it. Because I know, I have the logs, all kinds of things. Okay? They were hiding my music, trying to confuse me, and stuff like that. So the one that first released wasn't this one with the other piano line in it. And you know I wrote the song because you're like, and that's all the words I got now. Selfishness without compromise. You know? Because I sing this one right on the spot. To the words I wrote. That's why it's sang differently, and that's why you can tell, and that's... In the end, anyways, I say... Because I know, 5 views. This should be 6, unless someone else finally heard it. In the end, I say, and sometimes they just never listen. Selfishness without compromise. All I did was ask her to hear me, hear the truth about what was going on. Because I told her the truth. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. They said, yeah, we'll use this one. We'll use this song. I says, oh, you think, huh? You think you'll use that song? I says, why don't I do something better for you? Well, every song I wrote, I'll just upload on the internet for them all right now. In fact, what we'll do is we'll also attach all these other words and stuff to God taking me down into the forest, down there, down into the forest, down in there, and telling me to look up at the star and helping me out of there, and then taking me to all those houses with the stars, and I'll write a video for that, which they made sure they overwrote the frame about how the trees live and breathe, and all this other stuff. Well, I have the actual slides, they're still saved on a disc, so. But they made sure that they overwrote my frame on it. This one has star actually written inside, really light, S and a T and an A and an R, but see, no one could see it. So that's why that was in my featured. I went to 111 and the day I found this rock. I said, God has a message for you. It's the blue one. I went to McDonald's and got the receipt 111. Well, that's where I sat for 10 months. At Park Avenue until they... What'd they do? They're able to mess with me. Put thoughts in my brain and stuff because they force feed them to me. They wait for Sean to go in his bathroom, and he puts his stuff in the same spot. If it's not there, it's right there. If it's not there, it's inside my pocket. If it's not there, it's right there. Try and take this one. And they take my stuff during COVID lockdown. Look where I'm still at. Thanks for that one. Steals his wallet from him, from Park Avenue. Because what did he say? He said, I said to her, I says, Sean didn't fall. Sean doesn't fall. I'm always with him or whatever. I didn't even try to tell you what he said. So they tried to make me fall on purpose by stealing my wallet. And they left their drug needles under my cabinet cupboard too, on top of it. This is the Ghost of Cortez. I folded this at the dog food factory. Man comes up and starts threatening me out of nowhere. So I folded out of anger. And it goes out everywhere. So I call that the Ghost of Cortez. Story of love and hate. The question was posed. The countdown to me, it was a failure and my life meant nothing to these angels. The question was posed. If you had to describe something, here we go. If you had to describe something in one single sentence about the meaning of this, what would it be? That's hard, because you look at that and you go, wow, what a mess. Well, I was asked about the Bible. I said, it's the story of love and hate. I said, it's the story of love and hate. That's how I described it. I'm right. There isn't anyone going to tell me I'm not. So then we get receipt 234 right after this whole deal. Because they weren't going to meet. They told me to hang myself. So we did this, the mask and all that. We find the mask out over at the Desert Industries in Layton. Anyways, I go, that's cool. I didn't even think about it really. How it lined up with the rock the way it did. You know. Where is him? Where is him? I'm getting further and further away. This is where I do so many posts because look, this should be with this, this should be with this, this should be with this, because this is where the meaning came with this is where the meaning came with this. So on and so on. But anyways, the rock had the same kind of things. And maybe you'll understand all I do for you. So anyways, maybe you need a bigger, blind little star. Sunset, Utah. Because I was the center of this here, and why sunset in a sarcastic way? No, why sunset? See it star because it's true star, you really saw it. Now, where are you? I want to yell at you, and I want to yell at you at your face, and you can't be too blind to see this is true, pretty much. See which direction we ran those. We ran those to the west. Later on, we ran more lines. We did to the north and the south and vice versa, and don't even where you at. And then she sees it on my background. That it really comes over the top of the mission where we dropped the final line. XX was supposed to mean compromise. It was about meeting. Compromising. No. She wants that one X. She wants it love and hate all the way hate, which we go. Red is 7 for heaven and love, and black is 8 for hate and hell. 7 and 8, love and hate. At trailer A78, the story of love and hate. So they're asked to meet again, and they refuse. So he comes out into Clearfield and does this whole thing. Does another sundial out there. People are calling the cops left and right, and they say he's making a sundial. Because I was doing it for 2 weeks straight. Then I came into her trailer after they marked it up with a bunch of ghosts and things. I already showed you about the lines and how we rewrote them. And they were using them for control things. And altering our paths, etc., whatever, doesn't matter. In this shed, I did a lot of work with another group who was unrelated to the other group. There's different groups, there really is. So inside this shed, I did a lot of work with some other people, with some cords, and I got this man really good with measuring with cords and distance and all this other stuff, and I helped them do that. They come in and they're using mirrors and things like that in their place and tampering with all kinds of stuff. And so what we do is we go through and I want to prove some other ways of illusions and other things like this, because I said, how do you know what you're seeing is even real at all? Okay? Because I don't like to just say stuff without trying to prove it. So we do this with projection, but it's not even, it's the lowest model. It's the lowest model. You can't get lower definition than this one. And it still looks pretty dang real at certain points. I learned a bunch of lessons about that, about where not to have the shadows on it and all that. Now I got a really nice HD one that's sitting in a ghost shed. Because when I ever do get out of this mess that they forced me in by stealing my wallet to do hate crime again, I'm going to really make these artificial windows, and you're going to see me walking around in 3 or 4 different places through the night, and I'm going to mess your world up with it. You wanted to know all the secrets, so he does 4 copies of Trini. One's a Christmas one and all that, and a bullseye and following those lines and all this, and there's 3 paths. There's 3 paths. It's a fork in the road. It really has a lot of meaning, but you gotta look at the slides and understand what they're about. Okay? She watched me write that song. So here's the raccoon in the tree that was found in Riverdale. Well, these lines right here are inside those lines. My background lines. Okay? And I want you to know, Riverdale, that there were 2 dead raccoons that day. And 2 different rocks to those dead raccoons on 2 different paths. And I want you to know that 3rd raccoon's in that tree, because you'll forever remain in the tree as well. I'm flipping Moon off because I gave all my music to all of you and you're asking for help. And I'm like, hey, blame it on Moon. I'm just Sean. Blame it on Moonstar. She knew what she was doing. Sean didn't. He had to figure it all out. So, it's her world. It's your world. It's not his. And it wasn't Sean's, obviously. I don't know how the heck I grew everything like he did. I don't know how the heck that rose went out there, right out the door that rock was done at. And they moved it today off to the other side. And like I said, I can't control people. And I can't control what other people do. They'll forever remain in that tree, and they forced it that way. They took God's greatest gift and they stripped it from me for their things, for their own greedy purposes. For 45 years, didn't even know I looked like him. Sad. Not one person ever told me that I resembled him in any way, and yet I do. So I did this little picture down there with him. This is where it first came from. And they beaked it, and they broke my glass to it. Beaking shit with knives and stuff like that on purpose. That's the actual little painting. I left that in Salt Lake. They want to do a bunch of blue lines and big old tubes and things like that to make clouds out there. Well, I walked right up on that line and I dropped that right on their shit for them. You can see this rainbow right here is the one that I folded in my car. You can see that rainbow there because she wanted a rainbow so bad. Now that is one messed up rainbow for her. She wanted a rainbow so bad. I said, life isn't a fairy tale and all this, and it's not about rainbows and all this stuff. Well, they wanted a rainbow, so there's a rainbow that I folded. Right there. Dare to say it's not. I gave her rainbow for sure. I lined all this stuff right here. About 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe even 4, all night long. Behind the LDS church or whatever you call that thing on 24th Street, directly behind it. I did this with the movement of the nature around it. If it said left, I went left. If it said right, I went right. And only the twigs were able to pull each other up. And this is what we made. And I call that an awl. That goes around. It's an A that's upside down. It's an A that's to the side. It's an A that's upward. Can you see the A's in it? Because your life was a gift. And they took mine. Star. You can see Pac-Man. Once again, why I use a Pac-Man. I don't know. There isn't anyone worthy of being the sun. They wanted to be the sun or whatever on the other side. And I was like, you're not the sun. No one will ever be the sun. So this comes out star. This is what they're using while I'm working at Lifetime on me. You already seen it shaped in my hair. Love and hate. Go look at it again. This is Syracuse. These are the ones I did. This is what it started to turn into. I got some really great ones of this. See how it just goes around just like that? Directly above me. You try and figure that one out. See how they come out of those trees? You see how they're shaped with those trees? You see how every tree, right there, they're coming out of every tree? I don't need to show you this again. If you want to see it, you go look at it. Those are my clouds. I did those. I'd like to pull out of this now. whatever way I get out of it. Exit. No, I'm gonna keep on doing this. You can keep looking at my clouds all you want to. Those are mine. Or I try to figure out to end this video. I'm just gonna end it like this, and then we'll pick up from where we left off. Oh, look. It got me in a freeze lock on it. I'm gonna do this rotation thing on it. We'll try that. Got me in a freeze lock. Got me in a freeze lock. Why do you think they got me froze on that? Giving me a hard time here? Giving me a hard time? Giving me a hard time?